Hello and welcome to Polloi Two, and today we have an unboxing video. As I've received 3 boxes here with stuff inside them. Now I know the larger box is full of Star Wars stuff, that's from Darren. We've got a package here from Dan who said he got some odds and ends that he wanted to send over, and then there's a box at the bottom which is a 3D print for another Star Wars project. So let's get on and open the boxes and I'll show you what's inside. So first up we have this box from Steve, and Steve has helped me out previously on a number of projects here. He's 3D printed a few parts for me, and he got in touch with me recently saying that he was 3D printing something that he thought I would be interested in, and I am very interested in this because it's a part I am missing and a part I very much doubt I will ever find for this particular Star Wars toy. So that is what is in here. So let's open up this box. I'll see if I can work out how to open it, and we'll take a look and see what it is. But yeah, it's certainly something that I've been after for a very long time. Right, and there we go. This is a 3D print of a saddle for Dewback, which is a toy that I have had in my collection for many years. In fact, I bought my Dewback, I'm going to say 5 or 6 years ago, and so far I've got part of the reins for it, and that is it. So this is the saddle for the Dewback. In fact, why don't I go and get my Dewback and we can test this on. It looks like it may need painting to match the colour of the original, because I think the original is a sort of darker brown. But yeah, let's test this and see if it will fit on. He said that you might have to warm this up a bit with a hairdryer or something to fit it onto the toy. So we'll try and see what it looks like. But yeah, that's going to be very useful indeed. Right, so this is my Dewback, and this is how it's been sat on the shelf for many years. As you can see, I've got part of the reins there snapped. I still need to fix those up. It's got a very nice yellow stormtrooper sitting in there. I think this guy looks quite cool because he does look like he's been sat on Tatooine for a very long time. So here is the saddle. Let's do a test fit. At some point I'll come back and I'll give this a proper coat of paint so that it matches. Let's just fit that on. That fits really nice. It doesn't need warming up at all. And yeah, let's stick this stormtrooper in and see how it will look when it's done. That's going to look fantastic. So yeah, that is amazing. Thanks ever so much for that, Steve. That's a really good sort of way of finishing this figure, because the Dewback is actually pretty hard to find here in the UK, and finding the accessories for it, because it's already hard to find, is incredibly hard to do. So a 3D print like that is going to work a treat. Just a coat of paint. Yeah, and my Dewback looks a whole lot better. Amazing. Next up is a package from Dan. He got in touch with me via Twitter to say that he had been sorting out all his toys and stuff and found some bits that he thought would be of use to me. He said sort of odd figures and accessories. I'm not quite sure what is in here. I believe there's some Star Wars-y bits. Yeah, we'll just dive straight in and see what's in here. So yeah, it's all going to be a mystery to me. Oh, I can see some feet and stuff at the bottom already. Let's pull this out. It's another package inside a package, and yeah, well, I can see someone straight away in the bottom of this bag, someone I recognise and love dearly. It's another Skeletor for the Skeletor army. That's amazing. Not in too bad condition as well. He looks pretty cool. I always love a Skeletor. And then what else have we got here? A whole load of bits. I can see some more feet and some more accessories. Let me tip this out and we'll go through it. There's included a carded figure as well. There we go. Oops, right. What have we got here? So there's some Star Wars pieces. Let's look at those first, because I always spot the Star Wars pieces. Well, actually, that is Merman's armour. So that's a He-Man Merman armour. Then we've got some Star Wars. So we've got Boosh, we've got Nikto, and we've got Klaatu. All nice and well played with. We've got, is that one of the Thundercats LJN figures? I think that probably is LJN. Could be. Missing a hand, but that is quite cool as well. We've got another little figure here, some sort of ogre, not quite sure what that is, but it's got movable legs to it. It's quite cool. We have another weapon here. What is that? Not quite sure what that is. If anyone knows, let me know. We've got a small little tank part. It feels like lead, that to me. It's quite heavy. We've got the weapon to, is that sectors or something like that? Because it's got a reflective thing in that. Not quite sure, again, if anyone knows what that is. Oh, and then we've got Action Man. That's from the Zargonite, Captain Zargon sort of evil crew of people. That is a very useful piece indeed. Thank you for that. And then we have this, which is an X-Team. So I'm going to say it's a knockoff X-Man. Is that Cyclops? I actually quite like that. It's sort of made in China, it says at the bottom. Yeah, it's a knockoff sort of version of the X-Man from Poundland in the UK. That is really cool. That's such an oddity. And then we've got one guy here. Who is this? Is this Karate Kid maybe? It looks like it's sort of Karate Kid. Maybe not. I don't recognise the figure. he's got sort of strange clothing on underneath. There's sort of feathers and stuff in there. Maybe it's someone, yeah, I'm not quite sure what that is. So if you know what that is, let me know as well. So we've got a few bits. There's a shield and a gun. I figure, yeah, if you know what those are, do let me know. But thanks, Dan. These are really cool. And especially thank you for Skeletor. I always like to get a new Skeletor in the army, and that is going to go straight in the collection. So yeah, a massive thank you for that. That is really cool. Very kind indeed. Thank you. And now for the big box. As you can see, it's taking up quite a lot of my desk, so I'm having trouble filming it. I will see if I can rearrange a bit and we'll open it up and see what's inside. I know it's Star Wars stuff, and I know there is a project in here that I'm really looking forward to sort of getting stuck into, because it's a toy I've never had before. So let's yeah, open this one up and I'll show you what's inside. Okay, so this stuff is all from Darren, and it all looks very well played with, and I'm going to say probably been stored in a loft or somewhere like that, because it's pretty filthy and it is fairly battered. This is the first thing out of the box, so this is the remains of a rebel transport, and it is pretty battered. It's smashed and broken in many places. So this is the top section. You can see the back has been broken off. We do have the back section here, which is in a fairly sorry state as well, and then the back panel has been, well, I'm going to say trodden on at some point. Maybe that has split into a few pieces. So yeah, that is quite a project. I'm not sure what can be done with that. I certainly might have a go at it though, because it's I think most things are probably fixable on it. I don't know if the end result would look particularly displayable, but it would be nice to see if we can get something done with that. It's all currently held together with tape, that one. So that's the first thing in the box. Let me move that out of the way and I'll get something else out. Next up, we have the bits of a couple more ships. So we've got part of Darth Vader's Star Destroyer here. You can see how filthy this is. I can only find 3 bits of that in the box, so that's a sort of a big project one. Then we've got the remains of Darth Vader's TIE Fighter. This looks like it's been buried on Tatooine or somewhere for a long time. You can see how absolutely filthy it is. So that's the body section of it. It comes with the battery cover there. And yeah, fairly dirty, but certainly I reckon that will clean up quite nicely. There's a bit of rust on stuff, so most likely the motor doesn't work, but the rest of that looks certainly salvageable. We do have the wings for it as well, which are a bit busted and missing, you know, connecting pieces, but those are in there. So another fun project there. Also found another bit to the rebel transport there. That's the sort of back gunner section. Then we have something I've really wanted to work on for a long time, which is the Ewok village. I've never had this in my collection. In fact, I very rarely see it. So we've got a good chunk of it. Again, like the other toys, it is fairly beaten up and lots of bits are broken. There's the main floor, but it's got a big crack through the middle of it and a big chunk of it missing here. But it's a sort of the start of a project. I can certainly see some bits that will need major repairs, but there's a good chunk of it here. So we've got the 3 main trees. There is another bag of bits here, so let's have a look in here and see what extra bits there are. I can see that we have the cage here in a sort of fairly sorry state, bits of it broken off, but that is the cage that's supposed to lift up. Oh, actually these are not part of the village, but there's the remains of 2 Ewok catapults, again fairly broken, possibly can be repaired. We've got some other bits in here. Oh, here's some more bits for the Ewok village. So we've got things like bits of fence, we've got the net, there's the drum there, there's the fire pit. I can see the top section to a mini rig as well. So as I say, there's a good selection of pieces to build this up. What else have we got here? This is C-3PO's chair, again broken with missing pieces, but it's the start of something. And we've got the top section for the Ewok glider. So this is by no means complete or in a sort of amazing condition, but they're the sort of projects I like. It's after a good clean, and I'm sure I can fix some pieces and glue some pieces and just start hunting for other parts. I should be able to get this Ewok village built and yeah, get ready to put back on display. So that is amazing. That's a really exciting project, something I've wanted to work on for a very long time. But there's still some bits in the box, so let's go and have a look at what those are. So what do we have next? Well, it's a good selection of the remains of some very well played with mini rigs. You can see here we've got that one's actually fairly complete. It's just a bit on the grubby side. We've got other ones here missing parts. That is a Cap 2 missing most pieces apart from its legs. Then we've got the radar dish, the exploding radar dish, missing bits off the front of it. So another good selection of pieces. There is another bag here which again looks like it's got a few more bits in, so let's just tip these out. All right, more mini rig pieces. So we've got some maintenance energizer vehicles, or what are they, vehicle maintenance energizer parts there. We've got the box from the tripod laser cannon. Then there's I think that's part of the vehicle maintenance energizer, and a few more sort of pieces to vehicles. So again, a good selection of projects there. I know a lot of people have asked me to cover mini rigs at some point, and I do have a growing selection of broken ones. So at some point I will get around to doing that, because I do get asked a lot about dealing with mini rigs. So it is on my list. And then there is one final bag which appears to be figures. So let's pour those out and we'll see what's inside. All figures in pieces nonetheless. Right. So we have got a few Ewoks, we've got some Chief Chirpers and some Logreys there. We have a Weequay, probably my favourite figure. I do love a Weequay there. We've got a Bib Fortuna, we've got a Chewbacca who looks like most of his paint has worn off his face. There's another Chief Chirper. We've got a Bespin security guard. We have got a B-Wing pilot who's fallen to pieces. Oh, but his arm is there. I've had a few of these that have fallen to pieces. It must be something to do with the way they are constructed. They do seem to fall apart a lot. So let's just pop his arm back in. I can glue him back together later. So there's a B-Wing pilot. And then we have got Cy Snootles and Droopy McCall from the Max Rebo band, which is quite interesting because I have a video coming up on Max Rebo fairly soon. So I can now put these two with my Max Rebo. So that's really cool. So yeah, Darren, massive thank you for all of this stuff. To a lot of people, I think they would say it's broken, what's the point of it? But to me, that's the point of getting a toy. I like to work on things like this. So they're filthy, they're dirty, they're a bit broken, but they're all going to be fun projects. So thanks for sending those all over. And so there we go. Here is some of what was in that last box, and some of the bits from Dan and Steve as well. So massive thanks to all of you for sending bits in. It really is very generous. Projects like this will keep me going for years and years with videos on the channel, which is what everybody likes and what everybody wants to watch. So certainly Star Wars stuff is proving very popular, as it always does. So a new Star Wars project and something that's new to me is fantastic. I am really looking forward to seeing what I can do with the Ewok village there. So yeah, thanks again to everyone who sent stuff in. If you've enjoyed this video, then make sure to hit the subscribe button and tap the bell to be notified each time I upload a new video. And if you've really enjoyed it, head on over to my main channel, toy-polloi, and subscribe there as well. And thanks for watching.